All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the WeBook It Podcast. Let's start the show.
Yo, what's up, WeBook It fam? This is your boy, Big Daddy C, two-time reigning, well, I need to change that, former booking world champ, but I am a two-time booking world champ. Coach is the current booking world champion, defeated Mr. Virgil at the Royal Rumble to win that championship. But nevertheless, I am here with you with as a special host for the Who's Next on NXT, stepping in for Virgil as he is on vacation. And so basically, we're just going to recap what went down on NXT. So to kick off the show, there was a quick recap for what went down the previous week, where Joe Hendry became the new NXT champion, winning a ladder match. And so the new champion will make his way to the ring to celebrate winning his championship. He basically started off by thanking the crowd for believing in him. The crowd did the typical "you deserve it" chants. And then he talked about how he had a moment of doubt during the match, but the crowd gave him energy to climb the ladder and get the job done, come out victorious. He would then be interrupted by Jackson Drake and Vanity Project. Crowd, of course, booed them for interrupting Joe Hendry. They would come out and admit that they were the ones who attacked Joe Hendry, and then this would lead to a fight. And so eventually, Joe Hendry held his own before Drake would hit a chop block to take him down. And then the Evolved Talents basically took Hendry down and ended the segment standing tall. The promo was pretty good. The fight, I don't know. I felt like the fight we could have did without that. I don't think you want to have the champion getting jumped on his first night, especially celebration. Normally it's normal for somebody to interrupt the champion, the new champion. But usually we don't see them get jumped. But yeah, so but we'll see what happens. It's a lot of challengers are going to be stepping up to Joe Hendry. And so we'll see how everything plays out. A lot of guys from Evolve are kind of making their way up. It's almost like how it is with baseball. You got the single A, double A, and triple A, and so it seems like Evolve is pretty much like the I want to say the double A in a way. And NXT is triple A. Then obviously main roster is MLB. But yeah, moving on, we had of course Booker T during. Man, whenever he sings Joe Hendry's theme song, it is hilarious. Oh my God, it is a sight to see and a sight and something great to hear. But yeah, and so next up we had our first match. My honey, my future wife, Jada Parker, took on Blake Monroe. I'm sure we all saw that video of Blake Monroe jumping Jada Parker at the food truck. And I wasn't too pleased by that video. Virgil with a whole ass gonna send me that damn video and talk about, yes, Jada got her ass beat. Man, come on, man. Ain't nobody worried about Monroe. Ain't nobody worried about Monroe. Look, man, so of course Jada Parker, she was like, hey, I ain't finna go for all that shit. No, we not having that. We not having that. We going one-on-one tonight. All right. And of course, last time in action with these two, We had Jada Parker. She took on Nikita Lyons on the January 27th episode. And then Blake Monroe had took on Thea Hill on NXT on the December 16th version. So that was the last match. The last matches those two had, respectively. Jada beat Nikita Lyons, and Blake Monroe lost to Thea Hill. So yeah, this was the first match of the night. Prior to the match, Jada Parker gave a quick backstage promo before heading to the ring. She was ready for a fight, as she should be. All right. Right off the rip, Jada, hey, went right out the Monroe, hitting it with the got to the ring, but Blake Monroe was able to get the upper hand, cornered her for some kicks to the body. This match, hey, it was ugly. It was ugly. But both women brought a lot of enthusiasm to the ring. They both had a lot of speed. Led to a couple of moments that didn't look all that great, but it is what it is. But they made up for it with aggression. Monroe, she's great at being, this egotistical heel, and Jada has, definitely adapted pretty good to being a babyface now. She's always been mostly, a heel, but now that she's a babyface, we weren't sure how that was going to play out, but obviously with her being Jada Parker, she's never really truly a heel. She just, because when you got people chanting Mrs. Parker, Miss Parker, Miss Parker, are you really a heel? Nah, you're a heel to the other, combatants that you're, going against. Yeah, but to the fans, you're beloved, and you will always be beloved by yours truly, Big Daddy C. But moving on. Essentially, this match ended in a count out because they were scrapping, man, and they just said, "Fuck that 10 count. We scrapping. Hey, this is a fight to the death." All right, and then the security came out there, of course, tried to break it up. Blake Monroe escaped to the crowd, and then Jada basically low blow one of the security guys and started beating their ass. It was all chaos, man. But I like this feud. I think the next match cannot be a regular match. How they executed the feud with her and what's that girl name? Shit. How could I? She one of my favorites on NXT as well. Oh my God. See, this is why I should have waited. To like just chill for a little bit, get my thoughts together after coming home from work to do this shit. Lola Vice. All right. The feud with her and Lola Vice was executed so perfectly. It felt real. Like they really had like legit heat. That's what it felt like. And so with her and Blake Monroe, there's something there. And I feel like they definitely can, like stretch this feud out for a hot minute. And I can't wait to see what they do. So yeah, the match ended in a double count out. I don't like double count outs. It's weird. I'd much rather them beat the hell out of each other and then somehow it just end in a no contest. Like, I much rather it in that way. Even though double count technically is a no contest, but I much rather not have a regular match. Basically, that's what I meant to say. I don't want them to have a regular match because Jada Parker, she about that life, bro. She about that life. Like look, I can look at somebody and tell that even though it's wrestling and a lot of the shit is choreographed, I can look at somebody and tell like, yeah, they got down up in high school and in college. So if they like mainly high school, like they had to throw hands. They had to throw hands. I'm pretty sure they held their own, and I'm pretty sure Jada Parker, being the athlete that she is, she plays soccer and all that shit in LSU, and I'm pretty sure Jada Parker whenever she had to get down with the get down and fight some bitches, she held her own and more likely stomped their ass out. And that's another reason I love her. I love her so much. But nevertheless, that was the backstage segment. Keanu Carver told the interim GM Robert Stone that he was going to cause some chaos. And so we'll get more into that later. Next up, we had our second match of the night: Josh Briggs versus Eli Knight. This match here, the last time these two were in action, respectively, we had Briggs defeating Shiloh Hill on the January 20th episode of NXT. Eli Knight, he lost to Sean Legacy on that exact same episode. So yeah, in this match, Josh Briggs took on Eli Knight in a speed tournament match, which of course we know is a 3-minute time limit. If anybody didn't know by now from previous episodes of the Sunday Night Pod, I despise anything in relation to speed and the speed titles, respectively, for the men and the women. The title looks garbage. All right, but nevertheless, Briggs took control early, but Eli Knight will eventually make a comeback and got the victory with a huge moonsault in about 2 minutes. Obviously, we know the matches are meant to be short. So Jasper Knight, after the match, Jasper Knight ended up attacking. Let me see here. Yeah, Jasper Knight ended up attacking Eli Knight and Elio LaFleur after the match and took them both out. Knight, let me see. Knight and LaFleur will have a fight for a shot at Troy's Speed Championship next week. So basically, having these two get taken out by the champion, some may seem it was an odd choice, but look, you got to have some momentum. You got to build. You got to sell these feuds, man. You got to sell these matches. So anytime there are some crazy attacks, you got to just let it happen and see what the repercussions going to be. The following week. So we did have a video package for Tatum Paxley that appeared to show some, like some AI content up in there, and so pretty much featured a main character from a movie called Psycho Killer. The main character from a movie called Psycho Killer was shown sitting in the crowd behind the announcers. Obviously, whenever you have certain people show up, they're gonna plug them in, they're gonna plug their movies or TV shows and all the other shit in. So that was a nice little moment there. There are some very vocal fans in the crowd, and I feel like every episode, every show, there's several fans that are annoying. They just scream a lot of bullshit, get drunk, and all this other stuff. So I feel like that was the case here, but didn't seem like they got kicked out. But moving on, we had some more issues with Dark State. Dark State pretty much they got enemies all across the board on NXT, man. And they the tag champ. So everybody coming out there, and so Keanu Carver was essentially shown having destroyed an area backstage, as well as several superstars. At the same time this was happening, Kalani Jordan attacked Lola Vice and basically made her hand injury a lot worse than what it was. We get back to the ring. Dark State was out to give a promo. Deion Lennox essentially promised to go out to Joe Hendry in NXT title before Cutler James will focus on Tony D'Angelo. Cyrus Griffin and Saquon Sugars will then speak about the culling coming after the tag titles. Eventually, Sean Spears and Nico Vance will appear in the crowd, and announced that they will win. Well, not announced, but it basically said that they will win the belts before the lights drop. OTM will show up when the lights came back on and said that they should already be the tag champions. And then basically Hank and Tank came out as well to express their desire for the title shot. So everybody staking claim to the tag team championships. And that's how it is. When you're champions, everybody coming for you. And, you know, that's how it should be. And so Hank and Tank basically fought the Dark State out of the arena while Tony D'Angelo came out of nowhere and took out the other two members of Dark State to end the segment. So yeah, it was all chaos, man. Like, that's what I love about NXT, man. They you know, it's chaos almost essentially every week. Backstage, parking lot, it don't matter. Food trucks, it don't matter. Like, everybody scrapping, everybody going at it, and that's what I love. We don't get much of that. Hell, we rarely get that on Raw and SmackDown. Like now that this WrestleMania season, yeah, we get more. We get a little bit more of it, but generally throughout the year, you know, we don't get as much, you know, chaos going on, you know, on Raw and SmackDown compared to NXT. So yeah, NXT, man, y'all got to tune in on a weekly basis, man, because it'd be on point. Shawn Michaels be cooking out here. Shawn Michaels be cooking. Next up, we had Joe Hendry versus Jackson Drake. Obviously, last time these two guys were in action, Joe Hendry defeated Drake as well as 5 other stars in a ladder match to become the new NXT champion. So yeah, basically he put the title on the line. You know, he said he wanted to be a fighting champion. So his first defense was against Evolve's Jackson Drake. And so Drake started out the match. He hit a drop kick and a swanton immediately for a 2 count. Joe Hendry eventually was able to recover and took control. And eventually you had Swipe Right that was out there cheering on Jackson Drake from ringside. Drake would distract the refs so his friends could send Joe Hendry into the steel steps. But the ref ended up catching their asses and ejected them from ringside. You know, this was a solid match. Joe Hendry would eventually, you know, get the upper hand and win with the standing ovation. But Jackson Drake held his own and he looked pretty good on NXT television. After the match, Ricky Saints would attack Joe Hendry while he was celebrating. And basically hit the little springboard DDT thing, DDT maneuver, and that's how the segment ended. He basically stood over him with the title, did the little Ricky Saints shit. He did that, and yeah, that's how NXT ended. That was the main event, and so yeah, nice solid show. You know, like Joe Hendry first title defense was pretty solid. I didn't like him getting jumped early on in the show, but you know, it is what it is. And so yeah, that's the show. And this has been your recap for who's next on NXT. Virgil should be back next Tuesday. Well, he'll be back before then, but he'll be back to record the show. And so yeah. Thanks for always going to be tuning in to the show. Continue to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Spread the word out there. You know, we're going to have all our weekly shows. Raw Dog Monday, who was next on NXT. I'll be getting back at it with the All Elite recap. And then we'll have the Friday night throwdown with Fritos. We're going to have and then the Sunday night show. Sunday Night Stunner, we'll have that back on Sunday as well. So, Big Daddy C signing out. Catch you guys later. Peace.